Hey, good morning. It is actually the 1st of November. Look, we got all the early morning swimmers coming out. But today I'm going to be talking to you about how do you find the next up and coming location, because it's exactly what I did yesterday with my son. And we'll just watch all the morning swimmers come out. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. So yesterday we were looking for property in Barcelona, but these rules are international. They'll happen in the UK or wherever you're watching from. And my son's his first time buyer, so he's going to need a certain price. And that price is going to be lower. And of course, A, we're looking for a deal, and B, we're looking for a location that's going to really be up and coming to really benefit him in a few years' time. So how do we do that? You can hear all the swimmers. They're all just toweling off now. I hope they don't disturb you too much. So first we look at the most recent area in Barcelona. They've all started running and they're all falling over. We look for the most recent area. Oh, first we set his criteria. So for him, he wanted to be near the beach. I'm near the beach at the moment. I'm 9 minutes away. He was like, Mum, definitely want to be near the beach. He wanted either 2 or 3 bedrooms because he actually wants to rent it out to other people, being 25, and it's going to be an apartment. So we know the kind of rough criteria, and we know the minimum size that he wants as well. So you start off with that. You know, what's the broad thing that I'm looking for? And then, okay, where's the area that's up and coming? So in Barcelona, it's an area called Poblenou. And it's been up and coming, and flats now are like 500,000, third of a million, whereas a few years ago they'd been 100,000. So that area is already kind of bloomed. He might find a discounted deal in that area, and we are looking hard, but the chances are quite slim. So what we're looking for now is the next area to it. Look, we've got people doing selfies with the sunrise. Isn't that cute? So the next area, where's the area that's up and coming? And okay, where are the surrounding areas to that one? That next circle. Within that, what kind of transport links have we got? And the next area we looked at had amazing tram transport links, had amazing metro transport links. Great. And then the next thing you're looking for is what's the kind of quality of the accommodation? I hope you're not looking at the selfie people too much. I'm definitely seeing them. And for an up and coming area, you want somewhere where at the moment they're like, oh, you wouldn't live there. Oh no, definitely wouldn't live there. But you can imagine, and I'm going to call them middle class, not because, you know, I want to talk about classes, but just so that we understand. You want an area where eventually the middle classes will be like, ooh, I'm priced out of this area. I want to move to that area. So where people like teachers who only have a certain amount of salary and therefore need to be mindful of how much housing costs are going to find it are acceptable to be. For that, you need the properties to be quite pretty. So it happened with me in Bristol. There was an area called St. Paul's, and when I first moved to Bristol, they used to have riots there, and I've always liked it, but people were a bit wary about moving there. At one point, there was a fair amount of drugs and things in that location, and I do remember going to see properties and like a brothel, being shut because they thought, with my clipboard, they thought I was a council worker or, you know, or a police person come to shut them down. So it was quite open, a little bit of criminal activity. But what was brilliant about that location was the houses were beautiful. They were run down at the time. There was a lot of poverty, or a fair amount of poverty in the area, but the houses were physically beautiful. Another example in Bristol is an area called St. George. So a lot of what I might term the sort of middle class, the teachers, you know, the sort of professional classes. I mean, let's bear in mind the average salary is £32,000. So maybe they're at £50,000. I know not teachers, but maybe they're at £50,000. Well, 4 times salary, you're still only going to get a house at 200 grand, aren't you? So you're not being able to pay millions for houses. You've still got to be very mindful of budget. They used to live in an area called Bishopston, beautiful, kind of Victorian, terraced houses with bayfront windows. It got far too expensive. You know, houses there are going for £1 million now. So where did they move? They moved to a place called St. George. So again, when I first moved to Bristol, that was a very kind of working class area. There weren't very many cafes, but they had beautiful bayfront windows, although albeit a lot smaller. You know, people who invest in houses, people who like their home to be an important facet of who they are, saw those beautiful houses and thought, I'm going to move there because it is so beautiful. And now you've got a thriving cafe community, you've got loads of yoga, etc. Number one, you look, where is the current location that's come up? And what are the reasons for it coming up? So my location here in Barcelona, Poblenou, is come up because it started to be cheap. The artists moved in. The classic. It's near the beach. It's got great transport links. My next door neighbour runs a yoga school, and my downstairs neighbour runs a Pilates school. I mean, every single street in Poblenou has a yoga studio or two. You know, they're amazing cafes, so it's really thriving. And then you look at the next location. So we looked at a place called Besos, which at the moment has got quite a reputation. Some of those buildings they felt oppressive. They were built in the 60s, they're tower blocks. It felt oppressive in the architecture. So there was nothing beautiful about them. So whilst the prices are amazing, like 80,000 euros for a two-bed flat, 19 minutes from the beach in Barcelona, 90,000 euros for a two-bed flat, 19 minutes from the beach in Barcelona, the architecture was never going to draw people for whom the physicality, the beauty of a property was important. And those are the people who spend a lot of money on property and bring an area up. So we discarded some of that area and we started looking in. And so what you have to do is you go see some properties and you're like, no, this so isn't right. But then we started noodling around. There are little pockets. There's little pockets of original houses, little pockets of beauty. And you are looking buildings that are attractive for somebody who would go to a yoga class, buy avocado on toast. I'm not kidding. Those are the people that make areas come up, feel comfortable, feel warm, feel like, I can see my building and feel like this is home. So it's quite important to look at the physicality of the area, look at the transport links of the area, look at, is it next door to where somewhere has already come up? And even within areas that are still very down, can I find little oases within that might be enclaves of people who come in as early adopters, like we're being early adopters, and buy because actually it's very sweet. But do not go into a location where the physicality of the buildings are kind of oppressive. They feel like camps. Basically, the kind of high rises that people were just dumped in the 60s and 70s. They've never solved their social problems, and nothing about them is going to make them feel particularly warm, welcome, calm, and like you're going to have a latte and a yoga. Now, I'm laughing at myself because I'm one of those people too. So you're looking for science or maths, up and coming area +1. You're looking for art, beauty and physicality, and then you're looking for geography, location, and then you're looking for transport. But don't buy in a wrong area. So some of the areas we saw yesterday, I can't see them ever coming up because they just have got nothing to make you feel at home. But look carefully in those areas and go against the tide, go against the general opinion. I've been saying to my friends in Barcelona, we're probably going to look at Besos, and they're like, what? Why would you look there? Go against the opinion and try and find the hot spots before they come up. And let me give you a financial reason why you want to do that. I bought in St. Paul's in 2014. I'm filming in 2022, so 8 years ago. I bought a block of flats. They were like £82,000. I just had them revalued. 8 years later, they are £250,000, 190,000, 180,000 pounds. Now I've paid a couple of those flats off now. In 8 years, they have more than doubled. Why? I bought them A, discounted, B, I bought them in a location that other people were like, you would never buy there, and C, the location came up. So there's a real financial incentive to getting this right, but if you get it wrong, you're stuck in a bit of a wasteland for the next 20 years, and nobody wants investment property in that kind of location, do they? Nope. All right, sourcing discounted deals is how you make serious money in property, but how do you start? Free checklist. Click, link, download now.